To have you here, especially because we are in the final stretch until Election Day, less than 4 weeks away, and we have some new and exciting numbers out of the swing state polls. This morning, we are seeing Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia going to Trump +1, according to Emerson College polling. Michigan and Wisconsin are a tie. Arizona, Trump is up by 2, and Nevada, Harris is up by 1. So can you read the tea leaves for us here a little bit, because they are in a dead heat? What sticks out to you?
Well, I want to caution people. I've been at this a long time, and you never, ever draw conclusions from one poll or even today from polling averages. They're often wrong. Now, remember, in our highly competitive era, being wrong can mean being off by just a point or two within the margin of error. All the polls you've just cited are not definitive enough to tell us much of anything. All due respect to the pollsters. So I don't think that we should cite just one. There have been, we get them sent to us every single day. Just in the last 24 hours, I've probably seen 30, 35 polls of presidential race in the key swing states, the 7 swing states, plus the significant Senate races. And I'm not going to say they're all over the lot, because they're all close to one another in conventional terms, but they all have different winners in different states. I can cite you several polls that would contradict each state you've just given me, both for Trump and for Harris. So we're in the post polling era. We really are. Uh, Polls are not what they used to be, partly because people aren't interested in participating to the degree they once were, partly because it's more difficult to reach people, or some people in particular, and also because a lot of Americans understand just how divisive our politics is today, and they prefer not to express themselves. They would rather tell you they're undecided than tell you who they're for. And I understand that. I think it's a sensible decision. Unfortunately, it makes it more difficult for us to project anything.
That's a really interesting point, and one worth noting, because obviously Donald Trump overperformed the polls both in 2016 and 2020. As we know, in 2022, in the midterms, the red wave failed to materialize. Do you foresee that happening again in 2024, where he overperforms?
Uh, I wouldn't be surprised to see the results not conform to the polls. But as we've learned, they cannot conform in the Republican direction. They cannot conform in the Democratic direction. So once again, there's no firm conclusion to reach. Now, I will say this, having discussed this with many pollsters over the last 8 years or so, they have made improvements. They are doing more weighting in the polling methodology to try to capture some of the people who aren't participating. I think they've improved things, but they still have a problem. Sometimes it's a problem where they're underestimating the Trump vote. Sometimes it's a problem where they're either overestimating it or overestimating the Republican vote, as they did in 2022. So this is not science. It's art. It's art. And even great artists make mistakes. They color out of the lines. So I just caution people, let's not make the mistakes we made in 2016 and 2020 and 2018 and 2022.